Good morning or good evening, good friends of the channel. How you doing? I got a little thing to talk about today with you again. The Apple ecosystem. The Apple ecosystem is something I've used for a very, very long time. In the previous video, I was talking about convenience, and I was talking about how I've left this system. Well, technically, I've left Apple behind for something like Linux or something else, which is a little bit more complicated to use. It's something that obviously takes up way more of my time. It's not convenient as the Apple ecosystem is. Today, specifically, I want to talk about the concept of leaving this ecosystem behind, because as you may recall, many people will tell you, once you are in the Apple ecosystem, that's it. You're done for. You no longer are a part of the rest of the society. You're on the upper echelon. You have an iPhone, you have a MacBook, you have everything that will make you a superior person. Joking aside, they are good machines. They do get the work done. But in general, the Apple ecosystem is designed in a way to trap you inside and keep you there as long as possible. Mainly for something I talked about in the previous video, convenience. Convenience is what it's all about. Convenience is what Apple's always been all about. I think I'm gonna have to move Mr. Plant over here. He's not getting enough sun. I moved him here for better video for you guys, so you get a bit of a backdrop, but I think I'm putting him through pain. So I'm sorry, everyone who's a plant activist. Mainly my girlfriend. I'll move your plant back. I was a user of the MacBook, the iPhone, and the iPad. The trifecta, if you would call it that. It made work very easy. It made work such as design, art, drawing, all of this creative stuff incredibly easy. It had the ability that I could open up Procreate on my tablet, on my iPad, and I was talking to someone on Discord. Now, rather than having Discord on the iPad swapping between, all I had to do was copy this layer or copy the picture and then click Command V and paste it into a Discord chat, and that would be there for them to see. What a system. Great system. Now, this all worked perfectly at the beginning. It was fantastic. I enjoyed using it all the time. But the more I used it, the more I kind of, the whole trivia of it, the whole, wow, all of this works, kind of started disappearing. It started becoming more, oh, this isn't working again. Oh, that's annoying. I kind of need to send that, but it's not working. Let me try and restart the iPad. I restarted the iPad, worked again for a bit. Then again, I tried to do AirDrop and it wouldn't work. But all of these different things, they kind of just got a little bit more annoying. Here's where the whole comparison thing comes in, right? This whole thing that we have to compare. It was only annoying because I got so used to this convenience that Apple was offering, right? Because in the real world, this would really be amazing. Like, it's amazing that this all works just like that, a click of a button. And it is amazing that it works, and it makes your life a lot easier. But it also makes you realize that when the thing doesn't work, then it becomes really complicated. Now, those words aside, I want to tell you about the fact that I've moved away from this Apple ecosystem. And how did I do it? In many different ways, actually. It's way more of a hassle to build and way more work to get working, and requires a little bit of knowledge of technology. Not too much, actually. It's been rather simple so far. But I've made the move to Android and also Linux. I'm going to stop mentioning Linux in this video, but I've made that move, so now I had to find solutions for that. Naturally, I looked for free and open source software to do it, and I came across a lot of really cool stuff that I want to kind of share with you. I'm not going to make an in-depth video about how they work here. I just want to talk to you about them, and then I'm sure I'll do a video in the future telling you how you can do this for yourself. Now, here's my phone. This is a Pixel 6 Pro. I bought it not too long ago, deciding that I'm going to move on from my iPhone 13. This was a great purchase. Now, I've made it into the system that if I take my camera here, for example, to do this, I should load up a folder. That would be a lot better. So over here on my desktop, I have a folder with photos, and hopefully you won't be able to see any of them. If I take my phone and I take a picture with it, I took a picture of my table. Going back to the screen here now, you're going to see that shortly, that picture will arrive right here in this folder. If you give it a couple seconds, normally it's pretty fast. There it is. If I open it up, you can see obviously I didn't clean the lens of my phone or anything, so it doesn't look great. But there's a picture of my table. Granted, you need to know how to do it, but it genuinely took around 10 minutes to set up. and I have it synced across this laptop, my MacBook, and my phone. And if I had any more devices, I could do that. Apart from if it was an iPhone, because there's no SyncThing app on the iPhone, unfortunately, unless I don't know of something. So with this, I wanted to show you that there is an alternative to the iCloud system. Now, granted, this doesn't work in the way that if I'm out in the field and I take a picture, it will upload to my cloud and it'll be there. It doesn't work like that. However, most people's iCloud doesn't work like that anyway, because they got the option turned on to only sync through Wi-Fi. So when I'm at home using my Wi-Fi, this will automatically sync to this PC and my other laptop. And naturally, I'll have 3 backed up copies of the same thing. And it does it in a blink of an eye. I mean, it wasn't a blink of an eye, but you saw how quickly it happened. So this whole system works perfectly, and you can do the same thing with an app called KDE Connect. Now, I've recently reinstalled my system, so I don't have it on there right now, but it basically gives you all the functionality of an iPhone synced with a MacBook, but more. It lets me copy the clipboard between the 2 devices. It lets me send files between the 2 devices. It lets me find my device through this. I can ping it so it starts ringing my phone. I can also use my phone as a trackpad and a keyboard. I also found this other feature recently. Granted, I have to use a cable for this, but there's multiple different ways to do it. But a thing I made use of pretty constantly on my MacBook was continuity cam. It was a good invention, I'm not gonna lie. I really like the idea that they added continuity cam into the Apple ecosystem, where you could use your phone as a webcam connected to your MacBook. Now, I love this system until it didn't work, of course, because there was way too many times where it didn't work the way I needed it, or stuttered or something. With this, I noticed recently when I connected a USB cable to my computer, I get a prompt on my Android asking me whether I want to connect this via cable to transfer files, whether I want to charge my laptop with my phone. That's cool. Like, my iPhone could never do that. Whether I want to charge my phone with the MacBook, or if I want to use my phone as a webcam. And this feature works flawlessly. It really works flawlessly, and I was so happy to see that all these things which I thought were really cool inventions by Apple, which is a thing that happens when you're so deeply entrenched in their system and you become a fanboy, which is something I never want to be again in my life. I never want to be a fanboy. I want to appreciate things that are done well for them being done well, and I want to appreciate things that are bad, or not appreciate things that are bad and scrutinize them. Because for me, Apple have just made too many things that are bad recently, in my humble opinion. Yours could differ, mine doesn't differ. Mine says I don't like what they're doing. So with this, I naturally decided to sail on a different ship, and I couldn't be more happy with the choice I've made. And I really wanted to share that choice with you today, because leaving this ecosystem was not as scary as I thought it was. Now, granted, I have a Pixel phone, which gives me the ability to use the Google services, which work just as well, if not even better than Apple's. But I've also chosen, out of my own will, to make my life more difficult, chosen to ditch that as well for something that is local, something that I have control over, something that I decide, hey, I want this to sync my files over my network without anyone else snooping in. And that's really it. Like, there's so much more that you can explore with these systems, and if I find anything else, I'll be sure to share it. And I'm also definitely going to make a video sharing the general idea of SyncThing as a whole, because I think it needs more recognition. It's definitely something, even if you just have 2 different laptops, because it works on macOS, you can still set it up and it would work flawlessly. And this thing works fantastic. I really recommend it. Now, the final thing I wanted to talk about is, should you leave this Apple ecosystem, right? I've just told you all these cool things about me leaving it, and that has been a good experience for me. Should you leave it? I don't know. That's really up to you, because I'm a person that wants to value his time, but I also really enjoy playing around with software, learning new things. Doing what I'm doing now has allowed me to learn a lot more about computers, which I love. It's just keeping my mind active. So for me, choosing to do this, it's been a hard thing to do, and it will be a hard thing to do for anyone that does it. But you've got to decide whether you want to be convenient or not. I talked about the whole idea of convenience in my previous video and what I think about it. I generally think that we should strive away from convenience as much as possible before we become sludge. It's your choice whether you think it's worth this. Maybe it's much more worth for you for things to just work and things to just connect, and for you to go ahead, draw something, put it on your MacBook. Whether you want to, remove all the other fuss that comes with using something different. That's pretty much it. You've got to decide that for yourself. I unfortunately can't make this decision for you, and I never realized I'd be a person making this decision. I am the type of person that jumps around a lot with different things. My friends will know that. People that know me will know that. And they laugh at it all the time, and they have full right to laugh at it because I laugh at it myself. I really want to find something that I just hold on to. But until then, I wanted to share with you this system that I've come up with, and the system that works for me, and a system that I really enjoy using. So with that, I hope you got something out of this. I hope you learned something. I hope you found out that there is alternatives out there to just Mr. Apple and everything they do. With that, I'll see you in the next episode, and until then, take care.